This is News 6 Tonight.
Good Thursday evening, everyone. Welcome to this edition of News 6 Tonight. So glad you made a little bit of time to catch up on the day's headlines with us here at News 6. As always, what a busy day, but today was extraordinarily busy, and it continues to get busier because we are working on stories already for the 10 and 11 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
A lot going on in the news.
Yeah.
And what a nice night to just maybe sip a little warm cup of tea. That's what we're going to do as soon as this show is over. Rail Stalker joining us. Gore, Central, North Carolina there. Good stuff. Good to have you with us.
Awesome.
Thank you for
Thank
joining us.
you.
Let us know who you are, where you're from.
And if you're seeing the Northern Lights where you are, because they have been tremendous.
People have been seeing them in Florida.
I
I'm like,
know.
I need to be looking for these.
I'm
I don't know
sleeping
what
when they're
time
out. I don't know.
poking their head out, but I'm impressed. So
Yeah.
we did have a weird incident today. Fire alarm goes off at a place called Meadowbrook Middle School. Hey, you mind silencing your phone a bit?
That was the fire alarm.
That was, yeah, there we go. Natural sound, we call that in the business. That's not the weird part, though. It was who pulled it.
Yeah.
So it was a guy in a hoodie.
Mhm.
They thought maybe it was a kid, but this is an elementary
Because he rode up to
school.
the school on a bike.
Yeah. He
And
just
it's a
walked
middle
into
school, Meadowbrook Middle School.
And this is a 32-year-old man, and we got to get a look at him today. And as you can imagine, parents were alarmed. We talked to them.
I plead not guilty. I will take this case to trial.
Takes his hood off, and they're like, it's a 32-year-old man.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It is strange in this day and age because I have kids in school. You always seem to have to walk through the main entrance there to get into the school, past a secretary, maybe an SRO. So how this guy was able to get onto campus, it seems like maybe a different sort of
Well, he
campus.
was. They thought he was just running late, and so
They
the
thought he was a kid.
Yeah, they thought because of the hoodie, and they thought he was running late, so they were trying to be helpful, and they let him in, and that's when they realized, okay, this is not one of our students. But by that point, it's too late. He's already pulled a fire alarm. But the good news is, they said that he only got into that front lobby area, that he didn't get access to areas where students would
So
be
he didn't
hanging out.
get really into the school. He got into the front lobby, where
Which is
everybody
as
has to
far
go
as
through.
any of us, if you do any school visits, and we do lots of school
We
visits.
do. I have a bunch next week.
Yeah, so do I. And you cannot get there's a thing outside. You're on the sidewalk basically when you ring the thing, and they look at you and it's like,
Yeah.
may I help you? And it's like, hey, I'm Ginger here for, the Great American Teach-In. Okay, come through this first door. You got to show ID and all this other stuff. And where are you going? You got to sign. It's a process. So I think this was sort of a one-off, hopefully.
Yeah, well, when you see the headline and you hear he got into the school and pulled the fire alarm, that sounds worse than he got into the lobby.
Yeah.
They let you into the lobby.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that they caught him at that point because if he were wearing a hoodie, he wasn't large in stature. It wasn't like me clomping in there at 6'2". Big old stallion.
You're
man.
okay. Wow, you're not a middle school
But he's a
student,
little
it's fine.
smaller. He had a hoodie on.
Yeah.
So he fit in, but they caught him before he was able to actually get into the school.
They
So
said
that's
it
good.
caused the school to go into a secure mode, not allowing students to move from class to class. So they were very hyper vigilant and hyper aware that something had happened and these kids were going to stay in their classroom and they were just going to, not be out and about until this guy was removed from campus. 32-year-old Wesley Session. And you heard him say he'd like to plead not guilty to whatever happened today. We'll keep a close eye on that one because you just can't have randos coming on your kid's campus.
We definitely don't like the
We do
randos on
not.
campus. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's last night this time we were like, okay, it's coming. The end of the longest ever federal government shutdown in history. 42 days, I think it was. And we said it wasn't going to be as simple as flipping a switch and getting things back to normal. We were going to ramp up flights to cutting them by 10%. That's capped now at 6%. Thank goodness. And things are starting to move a little better, but people still aren't happy about it. We've had our community correspondent, Talisa Hampton, at the airport since last week. You were out there last week
I
with
was
her.
with her. I'm glad I'm not still there.
She hasn't been back home ever
You
since.
don't want to be at an airport if you don't have to be.
No,
She's
you don't.
working
And
all
she's been
this.
talking to people. So here's part of her report today.
I'm
News 6's Tylisa Hampton. The government shutdown, that might be over. However, flight reductions are still in place, reflected right here on the board with delays and cancellations in red. Passengers saying they're still feeling the dreaded impact. For many at the Orlando International Airport, the end of the longest government shutdown in U.S. history was music to their ears. What was your reaction?
Sigh of relief.
Reassurance also coming to thousands of TSA workers. Officials say will get paychecks along with a $10,000 bonus. Some travelers grateful to skip the airport nightmare.
I'm so glad that they finally came to a resolution, and the TSA lines were beautiful this morning. There was no one. We left for the airport very early, anticipating, hours of wait.
But those good vibes are not felt by every passenger.
Just frustrated.
This comes as the FAA's flight cuts stay frozen at 6%. Since the emergency order, 394 flights have canceled at NCO, including 41 expected Thursday and 8 for Friday.
We had our flights delayed coming into Orlando a week ago, and then today we're delayed by about 4 hours.
The order took effect November 7th for 40 major airports with the goal to cut flights by 10% due to the shutdown and shortage of air traffic controllers, a problem officials now say is improving.
And you can tell it's improving slightly from 41 flights canceled today to 8 tomorrow, right? But if you are on any of those flights, it's not improving.
It's pure misery.
It's not improving.
Right.
But nice to see that those workers are getting those $10,000 checks. I think they deserve more than that, but thank goodness they're getting some instant cash because they have missed out on some paychecks. And Thanksgiving is less than 2 weeks away.
Fantastic. And I think maybe there's a chance that in future shutdowns, they will be more prone to work.
Because they know something good is coming
Exactly.
at the
Hey,
end of
if
it,
I work
hopefully.
every day, I might get a 10 grand
Yeah.
extra bonus.
Yeah, but I mean, they deserve it because they showed up. They were faithful. They didn't let us down. They were on the job, and we needed those people.
Mhm. And that's for people who didn't take those
Yeah, of course.
extra days off.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, one of the biggest expenses every homeowner despises. There's always a clock in your head saying, when do I have to get this roof repaired?
Oh,
It is expensive.
it's a pain.
It takes a while. You have to pick people. Also,
Good
it's
people.
expensive. You have a lot of trust. There's a ton of people on your house.
It's
that have this
expensive.
done. Now, imagine the roofer collects the money. A lot of people
From
if
your
you're
insurance
lucky,
company.
You can get it through an insurance
Yeah.
claim. Roofer collects the money from the insurance.
This makes me so
That
mad.
usually means that you get a new
Has me
roof.
seething.
The roof is not fixed yet. So investigator Lewis Bolden introduces us to this family who's dealing with this particular issue.
An Apopka couple is out of tens of thousands of dollars after a roofing company cashed their insurance check but never replaced their roof. I'm investigator Lewis Bolden. The couple reached out to us for help.
Here's the initial contract that we signed.
After a hailstorm hit Apopka, Steve Coleman and many of his neighbors had roof damage. So he hired a company that a few of his neighbors had used successfully.
So my neighbor was already getting a roof replaced with this company called Hurricane Roofer, so they referred me to them.
Coleman had Hurricane Roofer come out to inspect the roof, but when he filed a claim with his insurance company, it was denied. He says Hurricane Roofer connected him with the logical firm.
They said that they will be able to fight on your behalf with the insurance companies.
According to court documents, after mediation, the insurance company settled the claim for $44,000, one check for $16,000 to the law firm, and another for $28,000, made payable to Steve and his wife Yvette, Hurricane Roofer, and Rocket Mortgage.
We need to endorse, Hurricane Roofer would endorse, and then send the check to Rocket Mortgage for them to hold the funds and distribute when the work is complete.
Instead, according to Coleman's insurance company, the check was cashed on July 29th. So the insurance company confirmed that the check was cashed?
Yes.
And the owner of the roofing company acknowledged that the check was cashed?
Yes.
The Coleman signed a contract with Hurricane Roofer 2 days before the check was cashed on July 27th. Work was to begin in 6 to 8 weeks, according to the contract. Now, nearing mid-November, the couple's roof still hasn't been replaced, and the money is missing. Do you want your money back, or do you want him to repair your roof?
At this point, I don't trust him to do the job, so I want my money back at this point.
I want his money
That's
back.
exactly what I would be saying.
Of course. If they cash the check and you don't see them again, how can you now trust them to like do some stuff to your roof? Maybe they'll start and then not show up to finish it.
Where's the insurance company in this?
Don't know.
Is
It's
their
so
money
I
that
know.
paid out, and now are they just saying, "Hey, we paid the money out"?
Yeah, not
It's a
not us.
that is a strange situation.
Oh, it's
and
awful.
I hope Lewis Bolden, and I think he will. He's going to follow up.
Oh,
on
you
that.
know he will. You know he will.
We
All
got
right.
a lot more coming up. Good
One
stuff.
of my favorite stories, we had that cold snap. And when I say snap, really, it just like that. Our little favorite creatures, the manatees, always
They're
find a
not
place.
little.
You're gonna see a little baby one in this story, but they always find a great place to warm up. We're gonna talk about it when we come back. Yeah, and he got the latest from the show just a little while ago, I think. So make sure we have that for News 6 tonight. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We know you're busy, but news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
That's right. And this is News 6 Tonight, where we leverage this entire busy newsroom with our community correspondents, our producers, our content desk, and then we filter through that. We have a casual conversation about the news that impacts Central Florida.
Yeah, we live here in the community, and we rely on you for our neighborhood network because you're our eyes and ears as well, and we can't do it without you.
So you can watch us all over the place, YouTube, News 6 Plus app, and clickorlando.com. While you're here, feel free to engage. Let us know who you are and where you're from.
We talk about a lot of communities in Central Florida that continue to grow and add, but the thing that they haven't done a really great job at doing is growing the infrastructure. And that's look at, I see steam coming from your ears.
Well, I've reported on this personally. There's one road that is one of the biggest issues in Central Florida. It's called Narcoossee.
Yeah.
And they keep building things along Narcoossee, and neighbors, they email me so frustrated. They're like, what are they doing?
They're like, hell, you did that story, and it was a great story about how it was designed for just so many cars, but now that has been blown out of the water, right? And our community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez, is talking about how they are talking about the community of St. Cloud adding even more townhomes, which means more cars will be on the road, but the infrastructure is just not able to handle it. Here's part of Stephanie's report.
Even more homes could be coming to St. Cloud. I'm your Osceola County community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez. The St. Cloud City Council is set to vote on preliminary plans for 2 new subdivisions here in St. Cloud, including one off of Narcoossee Road, which is already a busy street that's not capable of handling the traffic that it currently sees. That's a concern people that I spoke to had about the addition of more homes.
Quit building, get infrastructure, and then maybe that'll alleviate some of the traffic.
That's the message Jay Sizemore has for the St. Cloud City Council as they consider approving 2 new subdivisions.
It's too much. It's too much. We don't have the infrastructure. The traffic's insane. It's just getting out of control.
One would go here on Old Hickory Tree Road by Gramercy Farms Boulevard, building 54 houses. The other one would be south of Chisholm Park, right here off Narcoossee Road, turning over 25 acres into 69 single-family homes, adding to an already congested area. Narcoossee traffic now tops 58,000 cars a day, and it was only built for a capacity of 55,000.
It's got out of hand.
St. Cloud will vote on these subdivisions just a few weeks after Osceola County approved building 289 new homes near Narcoossee and the Orange County line.
And so Stephanie reported this story, and the gentleman, Jay Sizemore, who she was talking to, says he lives 9 miles away from where he works.
How long does it take?
45 minutes. On a
Whoa.
good day. On a good day, it takes him 45 minutes.
Two mas.
That
Yeah.
normally that should be like 10, 15 minutes, right? Well,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I
Sure,
think
in a
so.
normal situation.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, that
So,
is maddening. And I know people get so frustrated
yeah.
with their local leaders because they say, why are you approving this to be going in? But I will say, I've spoken to local leaders about this. I've asked them these questions, and usually these decisions are made decades ago.
Yeah.
Like that land was probably designated to be a development. A developer
while
bought
ago.
it years ago.
Yeah.
And now that developer who has an investment says, you can't change this. You can't turn it into, single family homes or something, or you
Yeah.
can't turn it into a shopping plaza. This is what
That
I
wasn't
bought
the
it for.
agreement. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what's happening is they moved there because the quality of life, but it's now been eroded. And like that gentleman said, once he is done working and retires, he'll probably just leave,
Yeah. I
which
get
is
it.
sad.
If you work from home, it might not be as bad and you could avoid the rush hours. But when I've spoken to people out there, they say even
Yeah.
when it's not rush hour, it is some brutal traffic.
Too
out there. So
crowded. Too
good luck to
crowded.
those folks.
Yeah.
We have
We
got
feel
your
your pain.
emails.
We feel your pain.
We hear you. We're trying to report on it as much as possible, but there's only so much
You can
you
do. Yeah.
unfortunately. All right, one of the greatest sites in Central Florida, a highly people don't talk about this. They talk about going to Disney or Universal or
Yeah.
something. This is a way better day than
Oh, I
going
think so too.
to
Yeah.
either of those. You can watch manatees when it's cold out. When the weather's perfect, the manatees go to a spring called Blue Spring State Park, and they all huddle and nuzzle up together. Sometimes
So
they're
great to
just
see.
shoulder to shoulder.
Do they have? I don't think manatees have shoulders. They're
Okay.
shaped like
I
potatoes.
didn't really think that through. I guess to have shoulders, you would need arms.
A neck.
Yeah, they definitely don't have a neck or arms. So belly to belly. I don't know what this is, but it's one of the greatest things you'll ever see. Our community correspondent, Paul Giorgio, takes a look at why this is so special.
Oh, I was always told that it's a good time to come to the springs when it's cold to see manatees, because when the water's cold in the St. John River, they come to the springs because the springs stay 72 degrees year round.
So the manatee come in every year about mid-November. The reason they're in a little bit early this year is because they are really cold. The cold front really pushed them in.
There's quite a bunch over there by the tree. I think I see a little manatee nose there. Yeah, a little manatee nose. You'll see them like puff up when they come up for air. It's really cute.
It's crazy to me to see them this early though. My name's Brittany Murdoch. So I'm a manatee observer and I'm a volunteer. When somebody wants to hear it, I love to talk about manatees or anything nature related. Well, right now, oh my gosh, we've got the baby that was born 10 days ago with her.
We're sorry. I'm sorry, I'm
She's,
not sorry.
did you see her come up?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so was born 10 days ago to our biggest manatee, Annie. Yes.
Wow.
So the 10-day-old baby
I think there's
is
one.
right here.
Look over there. Look at that.
Oh, she's putting on a show for you guys.
I stand corrected.
Oh, yes. Manatees have shoulders, by the way. If you're at home, would you like to address this camera and apologize to your co-host?
No, I
Look
apologize.
right here. Look right
I
at this one.
apologize to the manatees. I didn't know you had shoulders.
Manatees are well built, well proportioned. Is there anything cuter than a baby manatee? They're
It's
adorable.
like a big potato with the mama and a little baby potato with
Their
the
little faces.
They are just such gentle giants, beautiful creatures. Love manatees.
All right. Let's go to Michelle Morgan, our meteorologist. I think we have her.
There
ready.
she is.
Good. I was like, I don't know what time we go to you. So I'm looking right now. Apparently
sure
it's
she's
around
there.
9:15, 9:17. Good to see you tonight. So tell us, weather's changing, but in a good way. I think it's going, some people will complain that it's been too cold. That's
The
ridiculous
manatees
if you
definitely
ask
thought
me.
it
Yeah,
was
the
too cold.
manatees were sending us emails for sure with their shoulders. And
their shoulders.
yeah. So Michelle, what are we getting to and how are we getting there?
Okay, so we all know that we went through a brief cold snap. And of course, cold weather doesn't stay too long in the South. We are going to warm up back into the 80s as we head into the weekend. So lower 80s, we're not looking at anything extreme. We're actually going to be closer to normal, which the normal temperature for this time of the season is 78 degrees, 79-ish.
Oh.
So my forecast for the weekend is in the lower 80s, plenty of sunshine and no rain. Really, for the next 7 days, I'm forecasting dry conditions across Central Florida. Now, yeah, that sounds great and all, but then we have to think about drought. We have
Mm.
officially entered our drought season. So, with no measurable rain and low humidity, some parts of Central Florida, that includes Marion, Sumter, and also a few cities in Lake County, are abnormally dry. So we're going to have to take that into account because as we go through the next several days, we're not getting any rain. That abnormally dry or those drier conditions could expand out to our eastern counties. So we're going to have to be very careful with any burning or anything like that because, of course, we all know if something catches on fire, you get a good wind, it can spread very
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah, and we're entering that dry season, but we're also entering the season where it is coming to the end of hurricane season, and we are, my goodness, what is it? 17 days you were saying? I was listening to you earlier. We have like 17 days left, right?
17 days. We are counting,
We
Ginger.
are
Like, once the
counting, and you don't see
comes
anything
out
on the
gone.
horizon? Are you checking that out
Nope.
too? Great.
No, so now that we're getting closer to the end of November, now cold fronts actually matter. So we get these strong cold fronts, it cools things down. I just checked the sea surface temperatures over the Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America, or whatever you want to call it now. It is above 73, 74 degrees. So that is certainly too cool for anything to really uphold itself. So that's good news.
It's
So we're
always a
looking
good
pretty
feeling.
good.
Yeah,
It's a
that
great
is
feeling.
fantastic.
Perfect
when
for
we
the
make it through.
manatees, but terrible for hurricanes.
Yes, which is exactly what we like.
And you know
Do
where they are, you know where they're huddled up.
yes, yeah, they're adorable.
They
Do
really
you
are.
think hurricanes have shoulders, Ginger?
Whatever, Matt.
Michelle Morgan, our meteorologist. Check her out coming up at 10 and 11 o'clock. She'll give you the full
Thank you,
roster of
Michelle.
weather interest. Well, hey, as a Florida State fan, I've been keeping tabs on this particular story, and we have a great update on a Mr. Ethan Pritchard when we come back. Welcome to News 6 Tonight. We are so thankful that you're joining us here wherever you found us.
Yeah, you know what this tells me? If you have made this your new streaming destination, it tells me you're smart, also good looking, because you chose to watch the news in a different way. That makes you really smart. Anybody can give you the news from a teleprompter or an old newspaper. We do it in a fresh new way.
That's right. So check us out wherever you like to stream. We have this app for your TV, News 6 Plus. You can find it on Roku and Amazon and whatever your smart TV is cooking. So thank you. We would love to hear your comments down
Oh my
below.
gosh. Yeah.
And then we'll show them.
Yeah, we will. News 6 Plus. The plus is you.
Ooh.
Okay, as we wrap up Thursday's edition of News 6 Tonight, we wanted to leave you with something that has just brightened a lot of our days and just has given us so much hope because circumstances looked really grim. This happened August 31st, I believe, when FSU football star Ethan Pritchard was dropping off some family members and I guess someone mistook his car for somebody else they were looking for. He got shot in the head, in the back of the head, and it was awful. I don't think we thought he was going to make it. But today, something incredible happened. He's been in rehab for 2 months. This makes, I mean, it's so awesome because something like this happens. It changes your life and it changes your family. He was at Brooks Rehab and he got released today to start his journey home. Let's look at that video. It's amazing.
Now.
Oh my
He looks
gosh.
so much better. Now, the last time we saw him, he was basically on a stretcher on a bed, being brought out of the hospital.
Look at him.
into
He's
the rehab.
smiling. The people are cheering for him. It is just the best possible news you could see right now. And as he continues on this journey, he's only going to get stronger. His family says people have been praying for him. They believe in that. And it is so remarkable to go from him being on a stretcher in critical condition to this.
Yeah, just to survive that was something. But this guy is a real deal athlete, and when you have that kind of training,
You got no quit.
And yeah, this is the kind of guy who's going to rehab, not like a normal person like
Of
us,
course, of
to get
course.
better. He knows how to train. He was, 18-year-old guy. This gentleman is what you call a hoss. He's a linebacker, very highly recruited guy. Went to FSU. I was rooting for him. I saw once they recruited him. I'm like, oh, local guy at one of my favorite positions,
And then a
linebacker.
case of mistaken identity, he ends up like shot in the back of the
Terrible
head.
story,
Just
but he's
awful.
turning it into a positive one,
Boy,
and I hope we get to talk.
what a
to him
great
about that.
example. What a great example for all of us. Just never give up hope.
Absolutely.
Never give up hope.
Crazy story coming up tonight at 10 and 11. An 8-year-old revives a father.
His dad.
with Narcan. The father had overdosed and had trained his 8-year-old
how to do it,
how to bring him back to life.
This is in Volusia County, and the sheriff there is not happy about it. You're going to hear from him coming up at 10 o'clock. Thank you for joining us for News 6 tonight, everybody. Have a good one.